channel after news channel after news channel. Ever wonder why they report the same news? This is Wake Up America.
Brought to you by Citizen Stringer.
The media has become absolute lunacy. What makes us different? We just tell the truth. Daily headlines, politics, social issues, focusing on headlines that the mainstream media ignores. Conservative to the core and honest, sometimes to a fault. Unapologetically American. Welcome to Wake Up America with your host, Stephen Oatley.
Well, good morning. How the hell are you? Huh? Today is, what is it? October 4th, 8:02 a.m. We are up bright and early, and it looks like this may be turned up just a little too much. There, I fixed it. So now my shoulders aren't, see-through. But yeah, it's something else. I've been getting up early every day, getting in here, getting some stuff done, researching the news. Realizing that I hate the news, coming to different conclusions about where we are in society and where I am personally, and then trying to figure out how we can change those things, right? So just a really enlightening Tuesday morning. One of the questions that's in this video for the day, and I want everyone to take a hard look thinking about it, and you'll see in the description of this video on social media, why is it that politicians do not go to debates? And I want everybody, if you're watching this on social media, what I want you to do is when the video is done, I want you to answer that question. If you're watching this on YouTube, I want you to answer that in the comments of this video because I'm curious. Why is it that you think politicians refuse to have political debates? And it's not just leftist politicians, as many people may, incorrectly believe. It's not just politicians on the left. Rand Paul refused to have a debate with his Democrat opponent yesterday. And granted, Rand Paul did say several times before that he wasn't going to do it, but still, why is it that they don't do it? Why is it, here's a better question. Why is it that we don't, as voters, require those debates? Was a new precedent set in 2020 and in 2020 when Biden wouldn't do debates because he was in his basement. And you hear it all the time. You hear John Fetterman, Dr. Oz, Fetterman refuses to debate. And all these politicians, we had it with even some of the primaries. Ben Klein refusing to debate with when they were challenging his primary. He refused to debate with everyone else. Why is it? Is it because they don't want to present you, the voter, with a clear picture on who they actually are? In my opinion, every single person that runs for office should be forced to do debates every single month. Because here's the truth. There are some politicians that are literally running for office that never even make any public appearances. You don't even really know who they are. And why can you fault them? Because that worked for Joe Biden, right? He barely made any public appearances. And when he did, there were car rallies with 5 cars. And we know that. And it was successful, right? I mean, he's the president of the United States, whether we like it or not. So why is it that so many people now, both Democrats and Republicans, are refusing to have political debates? And I would be curious to find out why some of these politicians who criticize other people for not having debates won't even do their own debates as well. Again, it's my firm belief that we as voters should require anybody that we are supposed to cast our vote for. Because here's the thing, right? I think what they know now is that this country is so divided that the only way people are going to cast their votes or the only way they're going to win votes is by having a political affiliation next to their name. There's no name recognition really anymore. You look for the party recognition. So if someone is a Republican and you always vote Republican, and I'm that guy, I've always voted Republican. I can assure you now I'm going to be looking into an independent candidate for our District 7 race here in Virginia. Why? Because I don't like the fact that Ben Klein refuses, one, to come on this show and have a conversation with me. Secondly, I don't like that he signed a bill and sent $40 billion to Ukraine. I can't for the life of me understand why that takes precedent over dealing with anything here in the United States. I just don't get it. So for me, now I'm like, okay, who do I vote for? I don't want to vote for him because he stands for values I don't believe in. Right? I don't believe we should be sending U.S. taxpayer dollars over to a foreign country. I know many people disagree, whether you're on the right or left, and it doesn't matter to me for the context of this conversation. What I want to know is, who do I vote for then? Because if I'm certainly not going to vote for the Democrat, Jennifer, whatever her name is, because she's crazy. So who do I vote? Do I just abstain from the vote? Because I can't do that because my wife, who is someone that just votes along party lines most of the time, because again, by her example, she doesn't have time to research the candidates. Am I going to just have to vote to cancel out her vote? And how do you know who the political candidates are about these big debates? Like, here's the thing. I firmly believe that you could vote for a Democrat as a conservative if you believe that that Democrat will do less damage than the Republican. And that doesn't work in every circumstance. And to be honest, we have a lot of politicians out there now that are lying to the American public. We have Democrats that are saying they're moderate, but then you look into their background and you're like, you're not really a moderate Democrat, because you would think that you could cast a vote for a moderate Democrat if you're a conservative, and your conservative person that you're supposed to vote for is worthless as well. So it's weird, right? It's weird. Do you vote? And someone said the lesser of the two evils seemed the best basis for every election, which is wrong, because that's not what the election is supposed to be. You're supposed to be electing the person that is best suited to handle you and get your message across in Washington or the constituents. For far too long, parties have been, it's either Republican or Democrat, right? And I've said this before, and people know this, that when a politician goes to DC, they forget the fact that they're elected not just to represent the people who cast the vote for them. They're elected to represent the entire district. That means all the people that didn't vote for them as well. And it's really weird that all the politicians seemingly just don't remember that anymore, or ever. Did they ever know that? I have no idea. But it's very odd when you think about it. And then, there was this tweet that I saw from some, I guess his name's Booker or something like that. He's running against Rand Paul. He's a Democrat. And he tweeted out this picture of him in a staged up thing saying, a debate was scheduled for 8. Rand Paul never came. Right. So apparently they scheduled this debate. Rand Paul wasn't planned on, publicly said he wasn't going to attend the debate, but they still held it. Anyway, I think it should be a requirement. I don't think you should be able, is there a law that could be passed to enforce that rule, that if you want to represent a particular state, you must debate monthly? That's what I believe. I believe that they must debate monthly, because it's not just about winning a debate. It's about letting the people know who you are and who you really stand for. If you have one appearance in public and then boom, you're elected in office, nobody even knows who you stand for. That's how we got in the mess in the first place, where we have all these rhinos and fake conservatives and the Liz Cheneys and Adam Kinzigers and all these more Mitch McConnells, McCarthy, all of these morons that claim to represent some faction of America. And in fact, they only represent their own interests. And the same thing is on the left too. Make no mistake. The left has those same people, where they have moderate Democrats who people on the left that are progressive don't agree with them either. Someone say, what would be the consequences? Heavy campaign fines that are donated to charity. You know what I mean? I don't even know if that's legal or possible or not, but it should be. Or a public shaming, like, oh, so-and-so is afraid to debate. I think it should be a requirement. For so long, someone said you wouldn't debate that Booker either. Yeah, but here's the problem, because then you have people like me that go, why aren't people debating? Why isn't Rand Paul debating? Why isn't, all these politicians? Why haven't Fetterman and Dr. Oz had more debates? And keep in mind, the best example for a fake conservative right now is Dr. Oz. Because my guess is that when he gets in office, there's going to be a tragic shift where he's going to have these leftist policies. And I believe that's why the left isn't like completely going nuts attacking him every single day, because they understand that. You know, it's weird. The way politicians are working and the way everybody is seemingly okay with the fact that the politicians that are working to be elected, to represent them, seemingly don't care about them. You know what I mean? And and voters are seemingly okay with that, and no one's doing anything. You know, Katie on Citizen Stringer said, Rand is pretty loud about what he stands for, though. I wonder why he actually declined to debate. Was there a reason given? I just saw it right before I went live, and so I don't know. And like, for example, there was a debate scheduled in Georgia with this Herschel Walker and all that stuff. And that debate was now canceled. I think that was scheduled for 8 p.m. tonight. And that debate's now been canceled too. And then you have politics. See, like, this morning is going to be a different kind of show, okay? We will get to the news, but I got to rant about a couple of things because I'm really irritated on how journalism, I'll be honest, I hate it. I talked to my wife last night after seeing the video that someone sent me of the old man being abused, the grandfather that was being abused in the Arizona nursing home or Texas nursing home, wherever that was. I turned to my wife and I said, I am done with the news. I'm done. I literally said that. And to be honest, I'm looking at different things right now because this shit sucks. It does. I like doing the show, but I don't like doing anything else that has to do with news. So, whatever. I'm going to have a conversation, several conversations in the next couple of days that are going to define certain things. But anyway, back to what I was saying. This Herschel Walker. So last night, the Daily Beast it's funny because to me, journalists are supposed to have a shred of integrity, right? You can have a bias as a journalist as long as that is clearly reflected in article. For example, like you can say, like me, I'm a conservative. I literally preface almost every show within the first 2 minutes of you viewing that I'm a conservative. Everybody knows that, but I still say it every day. And the reason I do that is because I don't give off the impression or I'm trying to make sure I do not give the impression that when we do our news or when I do our news in the morning, that I'm giving some neutral, unbiased perspective, because it's physically impossible for me to do it because I'm an opinionated asshole. So I can't not be opinionated. So I always say, where I lean politically within the first couple of minutes of every single news video I do, because I have to, But then you have other news outlets that where they claim to be, like, for example, let's take the Daily Beast, right? We know the Daily Beast is a rag. Okay, everybody knows the Daily Beast is a rag, but then they do these big breaking news stories. And it's weird because if you look at the majority of the authors that work, maybe not the majority, let's not say that. Let's look at two. You got Zach Patrizio, who was fired or forced to resign for making up news. I think about Marjorie Taylor Greene or some conservative. He was fired from a news outlet. And what's really weird is I think Zach Patrizio, before he went full leftist moron, I believe he worked for a pro-life news organization, and that is where he was let go from because he lied about a story and made up a story. So you already have someone that has a massive strike against themselves, right? And then you look at little things in news articles. Like yesterday, they wrote this hit piece, and we're going to talk about it, obviously, as much as I don't want to. They wrote this hit piece on Herschel Walker yesterday, and they pumped it up on social media. The biggest news story we've ever written, the biggest, craziest news story. Even the editor, the political editor, Mark Fuller or something like that, he wrote this article, and he was all like, biggest news story ever, biggest in my career, at least since I've been here. And then I'm like, this guy's a political reporter, and then you look at his muck rack, and he writes about stupid ass video games all the time. How he's a political editor, I have no idea, but whatever. They wrote this hit piece, and they're like, it's published at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. it's coming out, and they pumped it up before, and it came out at 7 o'clock, and they kept resharing different quotes and all the same shit you do to get a lot of people to be like, ooh, and read it, right? Clickbait stuff. Like the headline, pro-life Herschel Walker paid for girlfriend's abortion. They're going to get so fucking sued for this. And they know it too, but they have big Democrat donors. They don't care about getting sued. But this goofball Roger Solenberger, who had to do retractions over a Project Veritas article last year, these people they give the impression that they're journalists, but they're not, because they're partisan political hacks. Even Roger Solenberger, you may have seen a tweet I put this morning. He literally published the article at 7 o'clock and then immediately wrote, "This is not an opposition article. This is reporting." And I'm like, if you got to say that something is not an opposition article, then it's an opposition article. There's no other, because as a journalist, as someone that writes, and I'm not a trained journalist, I didn't go to school for journalism or anything, but as someone that claims to be a journalist myself, I have never once said that this article isn't meant to be opposition. I have never once said that. And we've written like hit piece after hit piece before, but I've never once said that an article isn't meant to be opposition. So that automatically means that the article is meant to be opposition. No matter who you are, no matter which way you think, you have to think that based on that fact, because it's weird. But there's more. News outlets do not document their edits. And that is one of the biggest things that pisses me off about news, right? And we've done it, and typically on Citizen Stringer, when we do an edit, if it's something for a small grammar thing, we haven't been, but we should be documenting every time, like on the bottom of the article, say edited at 6:52 for grammatical error, replace one word with this word, or whatever the case may be. And we should be doing that. Do you know how many times they went in and edited this article, changed around paragraphs, changed, different lawyer definitions and all sorts of stuff, and nobody cares, and there's no accountability. The only way you can tell is if you look on their webpage, you can see right here. You can see right here where it says updated, and how many different times they've updated the articles, and it's scummy. And it annoys me. And there's no integrity in journalism anymore. You're not seeing it. The people on the left are writing hit pieces against the right. The people on the right are writing hit pieces against the left. People are getting fired. Like there was this news journalist, some on-air reporter that was literally fired for, in her personal life, she was going out and getting petitions for her church, something to do with abortion, right? And some bill. In her personal life, it was discovered when another liberal news outlet published that she was involved. She was called into the office of her employer, a television station, and fired outright because they said it's not, conduct unbecoming, because she's a video journalist. It's insane. You can't. So what they're saying is, in your personal life, you can't be political, but it's perfectly fine in your professional life. It's perfectly fine in your professional life to exhibit, and especially in your work product, to exhibit extreme bias. I invite everybody, if you really want to challenge, go look up on Muckrack Roger Solenberger's articles. Tell me he doesn't have a very clear bias. Matter of fact, look up his editor, the Mark Fuller, or whatever the hell his name. Look that guy up as well. Tell me he doesn't have a clear bias when you actually sort through the stupid video game ones that he writes about for all these different sizes or sites. Every single one is a hit piece on conservatives. Every single one. And the problem with me is a lot of people could say, well, Daily Beast, we know it's a leftist rag. It doesn't even matter, because the people that are unfamiliar with the Daily Beast have the same expectation that most people do, is when you read a news outlet, you are getting true and informed news, and you're not doing it. Like, so for example, let's take this article, right? The title of it, like I said, pro-life Herschel Walker paid for his girlfriend's abortion, and it's got a nice photo of him and all that stuff. This article is so bad. Okay, it's so bad. Herschel Walker, the football legend now running for Senate in Georgia, said he wants to completely ban abortion, likening it to murder and claiming there should be no exception for rape, incest, or the life of the mother, which I think is completely batshit crazy on a personal level, and you guys know that. Anyway, but the Republican candidate has supported at least one exception for himself. And then they go on without naming the woman or citing any sort of evidence whatsoever that this is even real, or that the $700 payment is connected to an abortion because it was paid afterwards. They go on to say that a woman who reached out to them anonymously told the Daily Beast that after she and Walker conceived a child where they're dating back in 2009, he urged her to get an abortion. The woman said she had the procedure that Walker then reimbursed her for it. She supported these claims, apparently, to the Daily Beast with a $575 receipt from an abortion clinic to get in a Get Well card from Walker, a bank deposit receipt that included an image of a signed $700 personal check from Walker. The woman said there was a difference in the amounts because Walker also paid for fuel and travel expenses for her to travel back and forth to the abortion clinic. And then it says, additionally, the Daily Beast independently corroborated details of the woman's claims with a close friend who at the time, according to the woman, took care of her after the abortion. This is the craziest thing. This is not even journalism, okay? Like it's so far from journalism, it's impossible. Do you know what? But they mask it as journalism and pass this off as fact. There's no actual, this is like saying people familiar with the people's mindset, which is what they did completely during the Trump administration. Maybe we just give this new precedent where you can just lie, you can just report fallacy, and then no matter what, because of the hatred for the opposite party that the media stokes, you're guaranteed to just be believed, which is so concerning. Obviously, Herschel Walker was contacted for this. They did comment and said that it was a complete lie and that they're going to sue the Daily Beast, and I sincerely hope they do. I sincerely hope they do, because what they probably have now, and here's the thing, like all these people advocate for women's rights, right? The right to go kill the unborn baby that's growing inside you, right? They advocate for it in women's, privacy. That's why they say people shouldn't be able to protest outside these abortion clinics, because you take away the privacy. Everybody right now is cheering on the fact that Herschel Walker paid for an abortion, allegedly. Everybody is cheering that on, forgetting about the fact that the whole argument, even yesterday before this article came out, was that women need privacy to make their own decisions. So what they're doing now is saying, yes, women deserve privacy, but hypothetically, if a guy wanted to honor that privacy for said woman, or there's so many things, like she could have called him, because the payment was issued like a week after too. She could have called him and been like, I'm sick. He sent her a Get Well card and she's like, I can't work, so I got to pay my rent or something. And he sent her $700. There's no proof that it was for abortion or that she even had one. Do you know one time I had this girl, she was a Puerto Rican girl. She worked in our office when I had a trucking company. One day I opened up the printer well after I moved, right? So I opened up the printer after the company closed and after I fired her because she didn't even know what the abbreviation for the very same state we lived in. It was crazy. So I ended up having to fire her. And when we moved into a different office, I packed up all the computer equipment, packed up the printers and everything, moved it all in. When I opened the printer, when we set it up in the new office, this is months later, I opened the printer and inside was a copy and pasted, where you tape something to tape something. The woman was faking a pregnancy. She was faking a pregnancy. She had it all duct taped up together, or not duct tape, Scotch tape, laid out on the printer so it looked like it was an official letter from a hospital. People are grimy as fuck. And tell me that girl wasn't trying to get over on somebody else. Just tell me that you would have to prove. That woman would have to come out and publicly, say it. To levy allegations like this, that woman has to be public about it. That woman has to come out and ruin her life because they're attempting to ruin someone else's. Do you know what I mean? Someone said, don't defend Herschel Walker. You're making yourself look stupid. I'm not even defending him. I have no idea whether it's true or not. And ultimately, it wasn't his decision, right? There's no evidence to say that the money that he gave to this girl was for an abortion. There's nothing. And the problem is that the media can insinuate that. And you blind fools who are saying I'm defending Herschel Walker are so geared towards hating someone based on their political beliefs that there's no benefit of the doubt anymore. It's always just that person is guilty. That person is wrong. Without actually, look at the J.R. Majewski stuff and how the left attacked him. And granted, he hasn't handled it well. I'll be honest with you. I started doubting some things with J.R. Majewski because of conversations I've had. But what's weird in this culture that we live in, what's weird in this new journalism 2022 culture is that now people can levy allegations against you and you have to disprove those allegations. The burden of proof to prove your guilt or innocence isn't on the people that are alleging the complaint. No, because they know that the hatred for the opposite party is so great that they can literally just go and say what they want. They can just, it's essentially like throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks. That's what happens with these politicians, and it's crazy. It's crazy. And I understand the argument. Like, I understand, yeah, would that make him a hypocrite? Sure. 100% that would make him a hypocrite. But then again, people change. I mean, you know, like everyone, and it's funny because people are like trying to go after Herschel Walker. Like, let's, for example, say that this story was true. You're telling me that someone's personal views can't change in 13 years? That while someone now may feel really strongly about something, 13 years ago, they may not have felt that strongly about that thing. You're telling me that doesn't change? Which is insane. It truly is that people can't evolve, that we all stop learning, we stop growing up and being who we are. You know, maybe the comment is because he said, did he say, well, and again, you got to take everything with a grain of salt from this article. Yeah, it said the woman, yeah, this is what's crazy. The woman said Walker was not married at the time, told her it would be more convenient to terminate the pregnancy, saying, quote, it was not the right time for him to have a child, the feeling she shared. But what she didn't know is that Walker had an out-of-wedlock child from another woman that same year. Asked if Walker ever expressed regret for the decision, the woman said Walker never had. Asked why she came forward, the woman pointed to his hardline anti-abortion stance, saying, I just can't with the hypocrisy anymore. We all deserve better. If someone has I just can't understand how this is a story, how people can print this shit and call it journalism in an effort to just ruin someone. You know what I mean? To ruin someone. And then Herschel Walker's kid came out, and his kid's, you know, a TikTok star or something like that, came out and talked all sorts of shit about Walker. And then the kid deleted it, and now all those tweets were saved, so they're being shared all over as evidence of how bad Herschel Walker is. It's innocent. Or it's crazy. It's insinuatory. I don't know what the right word is. It just pisses me off. It really does. It pisses me off because my belief is that journalists have a responsibility to report the truth. This isn't true unless a woman is putting her photo out there and publicly talking about it. It's not true. Anyone could levy those allegations. I could say that in 2005, while Roger Sollenberger was at James Madison University, that he got drunk, ran down naked, and stripped through the quad, right? Is that the truth? No, but I could say it because I have a date that matches. So Roger, where were you on July 4th, 2005 while you were at James Madison University? Get on your defense. What were you doing at the party on October 11th, 2006 while you were a sophomore? You know what I mean? Anybody can levy those allegations against someone. And then the responsibility now is that person has to defend it, which is crazy. And when you're talking about politicians, it's crazy. You know, it's crazy. It truly is and they wait until the very last moment. You know, they wait until the very last moment. And it's frustrating to me. This is why you vote party. You cannot let Democrats and one person in office these states, especially our red states. No, but you don't vote party line. You shouldn't be voting party line. You know, nobody should. Nobody should be voting party line. But whatever. It is what it is. It frustrates me. And I mean, that was a half an hour rant about this shit. But it's just crazy. You know, think of someone said, you're right, Steve. A person's belief can change in 13 years. I was a Democrat back then. Yeah. You know, it's crazy. Someone said your picture's blurry. You guys got to fix your own connection. I'm watching it here. You know, switch around your That's the thing that annoys me sometimes. Like if I say my picture is red, I see it. But if you guys are like, hey, your picture's blurry or you're lagging or something else, if I'm not lagging to anybody else, it's probably because you're on some welfare phone or, your internet connection's not good or an Obama phone. Or if you're watching on YouTube, click the little gear and put it up to a higher resolution. Sometimes I do that as well. But yeah, it's crazy, man. Someone said I was drunk and peeing in a median 13 years ago. Yeah, it's insane. Do you know what I mean? And that's the point I'm trying to make, is that people can say what they want about somebody and then and levy these allegations, and there's no recourse, especially for Herschel Walker. Like, say this gains traction and people start digging into it, and say it is true that his decision back then is the whole purpose of this article is opposition. It's being used in order to dissuade conservatives who have strict values on abortion to not vote for a guy that allegedly paid for an abortion for someone else who didn't want the kid. And it's weird that a leftist rag would actually publish this anyway, because they believe in the woman's right to go get an abortion. They believe in that right. They encourage that right. They advocate for that right. And then you're using that as an example as to why someone else can't, or someone else should be wronged, or someone should be thought wrong because they made that decision 13 years ago. Do you know what I mean? It's weird. Look at what they did to Kavanaugh. Yeah. I mean, and they do it to everybody. We saw him do it to Rittenhouse about his back. We literally see him do it to everybody. People have done it to me. Say I'm on steroids, blah, blah, blah. I beat my wife. Everyone has made these stupid allegations all the time about people they don't like. And there's not one thing backed up in concrete. Luckily, I'm not a big ass politician. So yeah, one person will comment, oh, Steve does steroids, he's roid raging. I'm a drug-tested fucking athlete. It's the easiest thing to disprove. You can literally go and look at my powerlifting record online and see all the competitions are drug-tested. You can look at my state records, they're all drug-tested, but it doesn't matter. People will still levy those, and then other people will just believe it. And that's what you're forced to do. It's really crazy. It really is quite crazy when you think about it. At least to me. A lot of you guys sent, and do I think Herschel Walker is a great guy? No. Are there allegations about him beating up his wife and children? Yes. Would I cast my vote for Herschel Walker? No. But I'm not a Georgia voter, so it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing. You may change in 13 years, but if there's serious allegations and your kids confirm that you were abusive to them, fuck you. You know what I mean? Just, all the people that are going out there being like, you're defending Herschel Walker. No. I'm defending what I believe is integrity, okay? What I believe is integrity in journalism, where journalists have a responsibility to act. Like, if you want to write a hit piece, caption it at that. But when you actually defend your opposition piece as not opposition and as reporting, you're scummy. You know what I mean? You're lying. And that's my belief. Would I vote for someone that ever once in their life raised a hand to a woman? Hell no. And even though those are unproven allegations, I believe that when you have kids that are making those allegations as well, I can't, Does that make sense? So there you go. And I know a lot of you guys are probably like, what the fuck, Steve? You just spent a half an hour, defending him. No, I'm not defending him. I'm defending what I believe is integrity in journalism and pleading for it and just saying, hopefully someday it comes back. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Also, several of you guys, did Steve say that he didn't think Herschel is a good man? No, because I don't think when kids say that your parents abused you, that you're a good man or you can change. No, I don't. And the fact is there's been numerous allegations. His ex-wife said he held a gun to her head and said he was going to kill her. She's been on the record talking about that. Do I think she's lying about it? No. Well, I have no idea. But the kids also verify that there was physical assault and stuff. At one point, you just got to be like, okay, I believe it. You know what I mean? Or that you may not believe it, but you may not also trust the other version of it. So that's my belief. And I know a lot of you guys disagree, and that's fine. So anyway, a lot of people sent me this story about this fishing tournament, and there's some video that went along with it that I don't have queued up. That's pretty crazy. Apparently, like some major league like fishermen, some major league competitive fishermen are in hot water because a video posted on Twitter shows Jason Fisher, a tournament director for the Lake Erie Walleye Trail, cutting open the winning catch of 5 walleye on Friday and finding lead weights and people and prepared fish fillets inside them. The winning anglers, Jacob Runyon of Broadview Heights, Ohio, and Chase Kaminsky of Hermitage, Pennsylvania, were immediately disqualified. The video shows Fisher urging Runyon to leave for his own safety as people hurled expletive-laced insults at him. This video's gone pretty crazy, to be honest, because a lot of people have sent me this video, and they're like, dude, look, competitive fishermen caught stuffing weights. And I wonder how often that helps or that happens. Because, now obviously people are going to be questioning it all the time. But these fishermen were pissed off in the video. And now what's interesting is the county prosecutor in Cleveland, Ohio, has actually opened an investigation into the cheating scandal at the fishing tournament. So that's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. The federal or the county prosecutor's office is opening an investigation because they were cheating. But I wonder how many times that happens. And yes, they've won several tournaments. Those two have won a lot of tournaments. So and there's a lot of money at stake too for these things. So that's why everybody, while the guy was urging them to leave for their safety because the crowd was yelling expletives at them, because the crowd was probably going to beat the hell out of them. So they ended up having to flee, I bet. But yeah, it's really crazy. Someone said it's the first you've heard of it. Oh yeah, well that's we're big on the first you've heard of it. How many of you guys have heard that Russia's new, and I've seen this all over the place, Russia's new nuclear tsunami submarine disappeared from the Arctic Circle base where it normally was, and now everybody's freaking out because now Russia may go test this nuclear submarine. And this thing, apparently, it shoots a torpedo really, really far, and it travels really, really far underwater, right? And it's nuclear, and then it explodes underwater, causing a 1,600-foot tsunami that would just decimate cities. And they don't know where this big thing is, apparently, and NATO has issued warnings to Italy saying that, hey, we don't know where this is. Good luck. It's crazy. Every literal story that is out right now is pushing some sort of ideology or some sort of political leaning of some sort of something. And it's annoying. Like even this, because everyone is criticizing Russia and going after Russia and saying Russia is going to use, like I saw some other article today, and I don't think I have it up anymore, but I saw some other article where it's like they're literally, Russia or insiders in Russia's close circle are speaking to the Daily Mail or whoever the fuck it is, saying people that are close to him are saying that he is seriously contemplating using a tactical nuke in Ukraine. And so now, and again, just sources that are unconfirmed, and who knows whether this is real or not. The only news you have coming out of Ukraine right now is from Ukraine. So all Ukraine is saying, oh, we're making huge advancements. We're taking back all these Russian territories. You don't know if it's true or not because they've literally shut off any communication from Russia. So any news outlets that are reporting what Russia is seeing from that perspective have been completely banned and outlawed in the United States. RT taken off. All of Radio Sputnik gone. All these journalists now have these Twitter things and they're being monitored, and the Twitter says they're Russian state-sponsored media, so you don't even know what's actually happening there. But however, you do know that they are not thankful for any of the support that they've gotten thus far. Many of you guys may have seen this tweet I did this morning to Elon Musk, just kind of as a joke. Kind of not as a joke too, like Elon, if you are watching this, yeah, I won't tell you to F off after you invest $80 million into my, business, but whatever. Elon Musk made a tweet yesterday and it said, redo elections of annexed regions under UN supervision. Russia leaves if that is possible. Crimea, formerly part of Russia as it has been since 1783 until Khrushchev's mistake. Water supply to Crimea assured Ukraine remains neutral. And then he does a yes or no poll on that. 42% of 609,000 people said yes. 57.7% said no. And then he said, this is highly likely to be the outcome in the end, just a question of how many die before then. To which Andrei Melnik, who is, I believe, I forgot who it is, but Ukraine's ambassador, that's who it is. Ukraine's ambassador, Andrei Melnik, said the only outcome is that no Ukrainian will ever buy your effing Tesla crap, so good luck to you. Keep in mind that Elon Musk personally donated at a cost of around $80 million Starlink, so when Russia invaded Ukraine, Ukraine was able to get on the internet and communicate. He personally donated $80 million worth of Starlinks at tremendous risk to himself, to his crews, on getting it there. Remember the supply chain? Like that, I even commented on it because Elon Musk, someone made a comment about it and Elon Musk is like, okay, I'll send them. 3 days later, Starlinks, they were offloading containers full of Starlinks in Ukraine. Literally 3 days later. And I was like, holy shit, that is a supply chain marvel that they got it that quick to the war. You have Ukraine's ambassador literally telling the guy that gave him 80 million bucks to F off. Literally, his next tweet was, F off is my very diplomatic reply to you. Like, these are the guys that we gave $65 billion, billion with a B, $65 billion of U.S. taxpayer money. And they're telling people that donated time and supplies that just are questioning what is going on over there and why is it the Ukraine has a new proclamation now where they said they will never negotiate with Russia. All talks will never happen. It's in Ukrainian, so I don't speak it, but that's, I paraphrased. It's crazy. It's crazy that, the reply to him, it's mind blowing. And everyone is like cheering, like they want failure. I almost think that's what it is. We were talking about debates not happening. We're talking about this. We're talking about media. Media is pumped up just to be negative. You know what I mean? And they are amping. Because here's the thing. Let's be honest. War, conflict, destroying each other, that really, really sells advertising on, because everyone's going to go and they're going to go look online and be like, what's happening today in Ukraine? What's happening today in America's elections? What's happening with all these hit pieces that we keep publishing just to get views because we don't have any shred of integrity? Everyone's going to go and read those articles. The more people read them, the more ads, the clicks that they're getting on their website, the more they make money, the more they're incentivized to do that. Imagine if fucking Russia doesn't launch a nuclear weapon. It's going to be insane. All these media companies, they're literally the only one that thrive on they're the only ones that profit with war besides the war companies. Media does. Think about it. Anytime there's war, Afghanistan war, how many people went to the news every single day to see what was going on? What was, where people died, were troops killed? Everybody went to the news every day. All those clicks, trust me, I know all of those clicks on that, on different websites. That's why, I'm on the Daily Mail right now, and I'll show you, even though it doesn't show the whole page. But, never mind, I can't show you because it's not going to work. Will it go? No, it won't. That's a problem. Sometimes it won't capture the page. The Daily Mail right now, it's got Window Nation, an ad there. It's got a Donald Trump video. It's got an ad over here for screen printing machines because we were looking at them. It's got another ad there. So on this page alone, I would say there's and then you got this whole most watched video ad thing. So I would say on this page alone, even though I have an ad blocker, I'm still seeing about 10 ads on this page alone. And then here, just for shits and giggles, I'll turn off my ad blocker. Let's see Let's see how many. Will it show now? Oh, look, it does show when I turn off the ad blocker. Huh. Look. Oh, wait. Oh, it's not going to do it. Will it do it over here? Yeah. Well, so it's weird because you don't see. Why don't you see them? So where was that? That was this one. It's weird because it won't, even though I'm on a different page. See? Look, it's got ads on the side, Peacock series thing, all the different ads inside. They all thrive off it. They all make so much money. But it's just crazy. I don't even know what I was talking about. I lost my focus. Anyway, the Daily Mail, they've been searching for this doomsday weapon. NATO has warned its members that this nuclear submarine called the Belgorod has disappeared from its home base in the Arctic Circle. And NATO is apparently saying it may be on the way to the Kara Sea to test the Poseidon nuke. A NATO warning note leaked to Italian media over the weekend suggested Poseidon is a drone that could be capable of traveling huge distances underwater before detonating with enough force to trigger a 1,600-foot nuclear tsunami destined to drown and eradicate coastal cities. That's insane. If that is true, that's pretty insane. If the test does go ahead, it would be Putin's latest attempt to intimidate the West over his failing war in Ukraine after he's suspected of ordering stealth attacks on the Nord Stream pipeline last week, according to the Daily Mail. I personally believe the United States was the one behind the Nord Stream 2 pipelines because I am capable of rational thought, and I can see that the only people that actually benefited from that being attacked were the United States. And we've previously threatened that we were going to do it. And if you do, like yesterday, I had more hate mail from people that were calling me a Putin apologist because I said the United States blew up Nord Stream 2 and not Russia. It doesn't make any sense for them to do it. They control it. They could just shut it down. You know what I mean? It doesn't benefit Russia to blow it up. They could literally just shut it down, but whatever, that apparently that being rational or using rational thought to decipher some of the bullshit that goes on apparently means that I am a Putin apologist, which is just quite interesting if you think about it. Poseidon was one of 4 next-generation weapons announced by Putin back in 2018, and it is thought to be operational. According to Russia media, it's capable of traveling up to 6,000 miles underwater before exploding a nuclear warhead in its nose with a force of 2 megatons, which is more than 130 times the size of the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. That would create an irradiated tsunami up to 1,600 feet high, designed to drown coastal cities and leave them a nuclear waste ground, according to state media. The warhead has never been tested due to international prohibitions on the testing of nuclear weapons. Breaking those treaties by testing Poseidon, even in the remote waters of the Arctic, would be a hugely provocative move by Russia. News of a potential test comes amid Russia saber-rattling over the use of nuclear weapons linked to the Ukraine war, where Putin has been stymied by Western arms supplies. The Belgorod can go up to 120 days without having to return to the surface. Now, TASS has previously reported that the Poseidon drone has an unlimited range and maximum speed of more than 125 miles per hour. Unique characteristics of the Poseidon system will help the Navy to successfully combat aircraft carriers and strike groups of a potential adversary in any oceanic theater of war and destroy shore infrastructure facilities, stated Chief Analyst, General Staff Admiral Adir blah, blah, blah. And then it just goes on to say, someone said, like, here's a video shows the state-of-the-art Belgorod submarine carries the lethal Poseidon, blah, blah, blah. And then it says, Kaiselov, avidly watched by Putin and top executive of Moscow's powerful state media propaganda machine, said Russia could use its biggest beast Samurat hypersonic missile, also known as Satan II, against Britain. But he told viewers in May another option is to plunge Britain into the depth of the sea is the Russian. Yeah, so It's all hyperbole. That's all hyperbole. That's all what they want. They want to just freak everybody out, just like North Korea shooting a hypersonic missile. Even North Korea, apparently North Korea now has a hypersonic missile that they shot over Japan yesterday, a ballistic missile. I believe it goes, 12 times the speed of sound or something like that. And I saw comments, and I don't know how true this is, but apparently people are kind of freaked out because now it appears that North Korea has technology that we don't even have. People are saying, how did North Korea get to Mach 12 before we did here in the United States or some shit like that? And I don't even know whether that's true or not, but I don't know. It's crazy. And someone in the chat said they did 2 missiles. I only heard of 1. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 2 or 7. But it's just crazy stuff. It's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Someone said, you really don't think Putin is sinister enough to do it himself to make it look like the U.S. blowing up the Nord Stream 2 pipeline? I don't know how that would benefit him. Do you know, again, blowing it up himself to try to blame it on the West literally makes no sense either, because the only news that we're getting here is from the Western news. We're not even hearing anything out of Russia. So, you know what I mean? That would be stupid. But I don't know. I think everyone's just stupid. Katie said, I think with the lies in recent retreat reported they are capable. He's sending their people in to die. Why wouldn't he do that? Holy crap, Katie. You are really, really... yeah, whatever. Katie's on Citizen Stringer. She could write what she wants. Even though I don't give a shit what's happening in Ukraine. I will be forthright and honest with you. I don't care. We have troops dying here in America, living homeless every single day. Not a penny should be sent to a different country until what we deal with over here. We sent $65 billion in congressional, allocated funds to Ukraine. We spend a total of $6.9 or $6.5 billion on cancer research here in the United States, which kills over 250,000 people a year. Just the top 6 cancers kill over 250,000 people a year. So I have no, sure. Do I have sympathy? Sure. Do I think war is awful? Sure. A guy just illegally crossed into the United States last night through the Rio Grande, had to be saved by Border Patrol agents because they stabbed him 7 times before he crossed and slit his throat. The guy is alive. That is what we have coming into our country. We have people with that kind of dedication. He was stabbed 7 times and his throat slit, cross the Rio Grande into the United States. Like, that is someone that I would love to interview and be like, holy shit, bro. You know what I mean? Because we always talk about how it's all bad people all the time, or that's what the left says we talk about, even though it's not. Hopefully that just makes sense. Sorry, I just lost it for a little bit. I fixed it right now. I fixed it. I hate it when people are like, oh, we know what's going on. You would know nothing about what's going on, especially when this whole show so far was talking about how the media lies to you, and you're reporting all of the reporting that the media is telling you. The media is going to tell you what they tell you. You had someone from Columbia University, an economist, that got up on Bloomberg yesterday and was like, yeah, I believe it was the United States that blew up the Nord Stream 2 pipelines. And they're like, excuse me, it was Russia. This is what Bloomberg was doing. He's like, it literally makes no sense whatsoever for them to be on. And like, mic drop. And this is an old timer, a college professor. But it's just like, it literally makes no sense for Russia to do it themselves. They could just shut it off, We don't know anything is what I'm trying to say. So if you are getting something from the media, they are lying to you. Do you know what I mean? Unless you get it from our news outlet, they're lying to you. They're lying. Like, stop believing them, you sheep. No, I'm just kidding. Man, it's crazy stuff. It truly is crazy. And if anything, like I just said, because I jumped to the border, the scenario that I talked to at the border is very important. That guy that was stabbed 7 times, had his throat sliced, and still waded across the Rio Grande to get into this country should make all of you guys proud. As much as you may hate that we have illegal immigrants and all that shit in the country, if there is anyone that deserves to stay, as long as he's not a criminal, it's that guy. Because he showed a tremendous amount of determination to get here as he was dying. And you know what I mean? And that should make everyone sit and go, you know what? As bad as everything is in America right now, as bad as everything is, they want to come here. They want to come here. And that dude's determination to get here is amazing. And I don't know his backstory. I don't know whether he's a criminal or what. I don't know anything about it. But like that dude, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Bobby had a funny comment, but I am not going to read it, but I will put it up there so you could see it. Funny comment, Bobby. Funny comment. Someone said, it's my understanding that the gas line, Nord Stream 2 wasn't even open. Nord Stream 1, I believe, had gas, but they had shut it off prior to that whole thing. They were using the other one because they didn't blow up the actual pipeline they're using. That's the craziest thing. Do you know what I mean? It's just crazy. He showed determination, but what if they were tried to kill him because he was a cartel member trying to escape the gang, or maybe someone else tried to kill him because he killed someone else? Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. That's why I said if he's truly just someone, you know, a good person trying to come here, that shows determination. You know what I mean? I believe I said that. I believe I prefaced it by as long as he's not a criminal. I think I said that. And if I didn't, that's what I meant. Our country is so great, even the people that hate it refuse to leave. That is true. That is true. Brad Hopkins said, all this nuke talk, they're always fear-mongering. That is also true. That is also true. All right, fuck it. It's been an hour. That was a good one, right? It wasn't that bad. What I'm going to do on Citizen Stringer, because I don't have another 2 hours. I just lost interest in this. But that was a good hour show. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put Santilli on for an hour, and then I'll replay this at 10 o'clock on Citizen Stringer. And then it'll just go Santilli's last hour, this for an hour, you know, back and forth. But yeah, I appreciate all of you guys. I'm going to switch this at 8 o'clock on the Dotto. Actually, let me just do it this way. Should have did this before. Let me go like this. But yeah, I appreciate all you guys for watching. Don't order any coffee, please. I have an announcement that I'll make eventually. I'm not going to make it right now because I'm busy doing stuff. But I got to get caught up on all these orders. We're getting caught up, and we're going to have a new thing. I just got to talk to some people. I'm waiting on a phone call to find out about something else, but lives may be changing. Lives may be changing. And I finally got in touch with the health department, so I know exactly what I need to do to get that store open. And like I thought, I was lied to by the rep that I spoke to before, because I do have to do some stuff to get the store ready. So that's it. Committee meetings today. I did look them up. I forgot. Committee meetings Wednesday, October 12th, which is today. There is no meetings today at all. I don't believe. Yeah, no meetings today. So we'll see it. Anyway, someone said you wish you could buy K-Cups. Yeah, don't buy anything, please. We do have K-Cups now, but don't buy them because I haven't finished making them. But, you know, and we'll go from there. Someone said the Florida trip, was that a joke? No, I was planning on going to Florida, but instead I donated $450 to the Red Cross because I am not going to be a burden to anybody down there. So we made a $450 donation to the Red Cross, and hopefully that helps somebody down there. At any rate, we will see everyone on Citizen Stringer at 11 o'clock again, and the White House press conference is at 1 o'clock, and that'll air somewhere, probably everywhere, and I will not be live tonight, so because I'm not doing night shows anymore. Or maybe I am. You'll never know until like 9 o'clock tonight, maybe. All right. Anywho, we'll see you then. The Florida, you're talking about the giveaway? The Florida trip, we are either going to do tonight or tomorrow. See, what I have to do is I got to total up all of the names and then I have to add everything. So it actually takes a really long time. I am working on it. The entries are done for that giveaway. And I think so far we have like 3,000 entries for the Florida giveaway, if that's what you're talking about. So I am delayed on getting that, but we're going to do it live. So it's going to be this week. I just need about 2 hours to total everything up. So the Florida Key West giveaway that we did last month that we were supposed to draw last night just takes me it's going to take me about 2 hours to total up all the names, give the entries, the extra entries for the mega boxes and all that stuff. So just bear with me on that, but I did not forget about it. I don't have an extra 2 hours in my day right now, but I will make sure that we do it by the end of the week. All right, cool. We'll see you later. All right. Oh, where's the button?